Hello and welcome to the 47th episode of the Gochuucast, and today we have a timely classic. We're going to be looking over the winter 2023 season that has basically just completed, and then of course taking a look at what's coming next in the spring, the freest content possible. But yeah, I mean, I know I obviously watched the most, but did you watch anything from this season's bad? I don't think you did.
I didn't. I've been watching old stuff, bro. No, but I do have a lot to. I have a lot to say for the next season. I have a lot to say for the next season, so
Yeah,
I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
Okay, what was you guys' favorite from this season?
I feel like if anyone's listened to anything that Daniel and I have said about things this season, this is obvious for both of us.
Yeah. Don Machi season 4 part 2 has probably been the best thing to come out this season. I say, well, okay, I didn't watch the Attack on Titan special yet. I'll do that eventually. I don't know if I count that.
That's also, that feels like a different breed to me.
It's a little bit of a cheat. And then Vinland Saga has been not bad, obviously. But I feel like my investment goes up and down depending on the episode. Not that I'm like...
It is a difficult art.
It's not like I'm like bored or anything. But
no,
it's just
I'm
like...
not even saying because it's boring. I just think it's a hard art to adapt. I think they're doing a good job with it. From what I've seen, I've set a bunch of it to the side so I can binge it with some friends because we decided a binge would be fun. But I think it's not the easiest arc, and it's a very big tone change from season 1. And I like it. I think the direction it's going is very good, but it feels like I need to invest some time in it before it can get really, like, to the point where it is really good. And there is another 12 episodes next season continuing it, so I think we'll get to that point.
Yeah, I also need to wait for it to finish to have like a full opinion, but I think it's just there are things I like that it does, but then there are just also like maybe some of the way that like things are presented, which has nothing to do with the adaptation itself and just the original material, I guess. Because even like there'll be some things that are like really well done, but I just don't care for it. And since you haven't even watched it, or whatever, I'm not gonna go too deep into that. But I will only say that I do not care for dream sequences as like a character push forward type of thing.
That is.
I just feel like they're kind of cheap because like in that point it's just the character changing themselves without like I don't know. It just feels
without
there's no like actual event. It's just in their head this someone just gives them like a big speech and like, well, okay, your brain just came up with the fucking perfect pep rally speech or whatever for you to change as a character, and just I don't know, it's not something that I particularly like. Though the sequence was well done, I don't know. I do. There's some contrast between some characters and how they were in season 1 and season 2, and kind of like a role switch that I find interesting. But we'll have to see by the end. No opinion on it right now, besides that it goes up and down with my investment.
Yeah, from what I saw, I watched about like 4 or 5 episodes probably. What I saw, it seems to be doing a good job with the source material. And I think it's interesting. It's just very different. So... also, I will be binging that, so by the time we do this next season, we'll both probably have finished this and can have a more full opinion of it.
Yes. Something would have to go terribly wrong for me to have not finished it. I would be dead, probably. In which case, the podcast would not happen.
Yeah.
no one would. So you'd have to like rebuild everything from scratch, even though you obviously have access to the accounts, but you wouldn't have the pictures.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if Spat and I would continue the podcast anyway.
You have to make the final episode laying Daniel to rest, since we had Lane PK to rest.
Yeah, that is true. You would have to have at least a final episode. But like, I don't know. It's not that Spat and I aren't motivated to do the podcast.
We don't know. We don't know anything, bro.
Well, it is
Clueless,
also
though.
just like this is your project, so to speak, that we're co-stars on.
Wait, what the? Okay.
And so it would be one of those things where I feel like we would be like, do we even want to keep podcasting if no Daniel? Like, it wouldn't be the same,
When I log on to Twitter on my, well, I don't log on to Twitter, but when I click a Twitter link at like on some other, like I think on Discord too,
Yeah.
it opens like Microsoft Edge and automatically like default sends me, default like logs me into the Gochuucast Twitter account. So there you go. That's the
It's the very active
Yeah.
I have
Gochuucast
the
Twitter account.
controls. I have the controls, but
Yeah,
don't know.
we all have the controls. It would just be a question
We're just
of
clueless. We're clueless.
yeah, if we're clueless, and in that event, would we even be motivated to do more than just have one final episode?
Feels bad, bro. Okay.
Would be very
No more
awkward.
depression.
But something that did have my attention that we did mention, obviously to start this, was Don Machi's 4th season, the second part. I kind of wish it was not split cord, just so I could rate it all on one thing. But part 2 was extremely good, and obviously I can't spoil it because PK is going to binge it or whatever. But
I had two things I got saved for binges, and they have still not been binged. But Dan Machi, any day now. Mars just needs to not be freaking out of town for the weekend.
Bro, you need to come back back home.
It's anime time. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
bro.
hope he listens to us while he's out of town, so he
Yeah.
can feel
So
extra.
he just hears this and he just like drives.
No, I'm hoping by like next weekend I'll have been able to sit down with Mars and get some of it watched. I mean, we'll probably do a little bit on like Saturday night, but that won't be enough time to finish.
yeah, I will say like it had my attention the entire time. There's not a moment where I probably got invested more each episode than
Well, I mean, even just going from where it was in season 1, like I feel like not season 1, but part 1. I feel like part 1 set it up really well to go in a lot of different directions. And that doesn't necessarily mean it was like guaranteed to deliver anything, but it does, to me at least, mean it was in a really good spot to do some cool things.
Yeah, I did just release a video on the evolution of Don Machi 4 hours ago, or not 4 hours ago. Fuck God, today has gone away. Like 6 nearly 7 hours ago now.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But it's so hard being like a smaller YouTuber or whatever, because I have to wait like multiple weeks to see if the algorithm's actually going to pick things up.
Oh yeah, the algorithm seems very finicky from what I've heard. Just like
in the first week or so, realistically, the algorithm's just not gonna pick it up.
You need a soy jack face and the red arrow and like you need everything for that.
Yeah, every time it's like, oh man, the video's totally dead. And then like a week later, it's like, all right, now it is popping. It is no longer dead. Never mind. But yeah, I do have a video on that. I fucking hate editing, dude. It's so awful and tedious. And this was the longest edited video I've had. It was in the double digits. And the play to use anime clips without getting hit with copyright is I hold myself to like a 10-second maximum. I can go over a little bit sometimes if I really need to, but I don't risk it obviously often, because that would probably cause more problems. And I'll talk about that in a minute, because speaking of things I've made videos on, there's something else this season that we're so glad to talk about. But yeah, I never would have thought after the first 2 seasons that I'd care about Don Machi at all, but now that's like, I don't know if I buy the novel for it, just because like someone looks on the shelf and sees the English title and they're like, what the fuck? But it's definitely been something that I was very excited every week to watch, and I hope it gets to season 5 at some point.
I have to imagine it would. Like,
I think novel's coming.
How far in are they? Like into the?
It's pretty far in.
Like, okay.
Yeah, it just feels like once a show gets more than like 3 seasons, it's not that it's guaranteed to keep getting seasons, but it's also like at that point clearly it's popular enough that it's like doing well. And I know Dan Machi is like really popular with Japanese audience.
It's a big seller.
They care about. So I would imagine as long as it has the content, which obviously it does, but I don't know if it has it out like currently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it does. I'm pretty sure I saw a tweet that the author said like it's ending soon or something like that. But I don't know. I didn't look too far into that. I think it is, the novel is ending. Maybe there'll be a Don Machi 2. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're one of the few people who watches Gochuucast without watching the main channel, you should go over there for my full thoughts.
That is, yeah.
But however,
I was about to say that was a main channel, but it's like, yeah.
The main channel is kind of the plug.
The main channel.
Anyway, speaking of videos that I made, we'll rip the Band-Aid off right now.
Yeah.
So I made the Onimai video, which has done very well for me. It is now my most viewed video, beating out Made in Abyss. Still going. Not as strong as it was, but it's still doing things. And I don't. I can't convince it. Well, actually, no. I convinced Luigi to watch it. I guess technically, he didn't drop it. If that's a testament to anything.
The problem is, it's like, I understand that it clearly must be better than it looks or sounds, but I still don't want to commit to watching it.
I would say,
and that's how I'll say it.
Yeah. I don't know. You should definitely worry about your watching list before ever considering
this. This is
yeah. Oh. That's the other thing. I have like so many better things I need to take care of than Onimai anyway. It's not like I'm really considering it, but I just feel like every day for the past like 3 weeks I've had to hear about Onimai from our like friend groups / other communities.
Dude, I like how the original creator is like, look, dude, have you just seen this? The original creator of the Onimai, copy paste it. Bro, this is like logo or whatever. It looks like
a little picture. Yeah,
yeah, it's not like an actual guy. And the director is a freaking cat with a lightsaber. What is this?
It's kind of lit.
It's pretty lit.
Bro, I love AniList profile pictures because most of the time they're not just like pictures of, for like artists and writers especially, a lot of times they're not even pictures of that person.
Yeah, it's just the director's Twitter.
Yeah,
just Twitter profile picture. This? Just the fucking cat lightsaber. It's so dumb.
NSFW. This guy's fanbox. Anyway, yeah, I was just browsing this staff, man. They're crazy.
But yeah, I didn't watch Onimai, so I have no real opinions. Surely it has to be like funny, right? Like for this to work, it has to have like humor to it. I'm assuming.
I mean, they're like, I don't know. Humor is like subjective or whatever. There are probably times that I like found something funny. There are other times maybe a joke didn't hit. I liked it more for it's actually like a much better character piece than you'd expect.
I guess that's fair.
Like underneath
the premise is interesting. I'll just say that. The premise is
no, I know the premise, and that's like part of the reason why it's confusing to me that like people are like on the train for Onimai because the premise is a little silly, and that's fine. And it's interesting. Daniel says it's actually a good character piece because I'm like, what the fuck goes on in Onimai?
Well, think of it like a much more tame Mushoku Tensei, I guess. I hate whenever the description is like, oh, this character is a degenerate, but like honestly, like the main character is just kind of like a normal dude who just has like a bit of trauma or whatever. But yeah, like I mean, the whole point of the thing is his sister obviously like changes his whatever to force a change in his life because she wants him to get off the track he's on of just being a shut-in or whatever. I don't know, it's just good. And it has really good production quality too, obviously being from the Mushoku studio.
Which is kind of funny that you gave it the Mushoku, not comparison.
Yeah, kind of comparison. Yeah, I did mention that in video or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was good. It was like I could probably go back into the podcast and we've probably talked shit on it before I started.
We almost certainly talked shit on it. I'd be surprised if we didn't.
It was this one and then the dog.
Which is it's kind of what's fun about doing this both at the beginning and the end of the season.
Yeah, me episode 1. Yeah, this is gonna be dog shit. Me episode 12. They're one of my favorites of the season.
Wait, okay, I have a question. PK, have you been watching the new? I know you're a big Pokemon guy. Have you been watching the?
I have not watched the Ash
or whatever.
I have not watched the Ash special
the Ash.
because I was having problems finding it subbed.
Okay,
I
was just curious.
Just the Japanese audio, but I was having issues finding it subbed, and then I stopped.
You just gotta learn Japanese, man. I don't know what to tell you.
That's fair. Because the sub was coming out several days later, at least for the first couple times I checked, several days later than the actual episode was airing. It was hard for me to keep track of. So another one to the binge list.
The classic.
And then the new season is I mean, I guess
next season.
Next season.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Spoilers for the section where we talk about the next season.
Yeah.
There's some other interest. I mean, there was a lot of delays this season.
Yeah, we can talk about the delays.
Things like Nier, for example.
Yeah, I feel like
Nier has had like 2 or 3 delays or some shit. It's
crazy.
Yeah, they kind of get incompletes because I wasn't gonna watch Nier, but I did watch Kubo, and I thought Kubo did pretty well. I don't know the source material to Kubo, so I couldn't tell you if it's been a good adaptation or not. But I've enjoyed watching it every episode I've seen. But it's hard. 5 episodes are out? I think it was
maybe
6?
5 or 6. Yeah. I don't remember.
It's half the season. It's not like I'm expecting Kubo to have some big plot at the end of the season or anything, but I do feel like it having only half of the runtime as a lot of the other stuff kind of hurts how I want to talk about it, even though I have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've completed the manga. Obviously, I've been reading it for years or whatever, so I'm not devastated by the delay, though. I think they do a very good job. I think the big thing is they're taking what Kubo does well and they're putting it into animation correctly. It's just they have an expressive animation, and that's the important part.
It's kind of the same thing with also airing this season Bofuri, where I know that the light novels for Bofuri it's not that they have more story or plot to them, but they have more substance.
Yeah, I guess with all novels.
But the anime is just cute and fun, and that's everything that we feel like Bofuri should stand for. Kubo kind of feels like the same thing, where it's not necessarily a lot of substance, but it's just fun, and I enjoy watching it every week.
Yeah, I think Kubo definitely gets a little bit of substance later on in its life, but definitely at the start, it's more it's cute romance, typical fluff stuff.
I'm sure at some point Bofuri will have substance to it.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I hope it never does. That's why I love it.
I kind of feel like it might be better if it doesn't, but
it is because as long as it doesn't try, then it's I've said it before. Bofuri is a perfect piece of literature because it's a horrible piece of literature. It does not even attempt to pretend like it's ever going to do anything. And
surely,
that's why it's great.
It's an interesting description for sure.
Surely Bofuri's final arc is EOS, right?
EOS.
That's the only.
They have to wait for the sequel.
Information today.
Yeah, R.I.P. Princess Connect.
Yeah, as we were talking, Princess Connect English version had an announcement that it's going to be going into EOS. So it's on my mind. It would be funny if the final arc of Bofuri was the game's going into EOS and they have one final event or something.
It'd be a little goofy. Really, you could just go on with Bofuri as long as you fucking wanted to, honestly. As long as the author has fun writing it, it's just infinite content.
Yeah, exactly. You just make new events.
Yeah. Or just end the game. You end the game, then you'll release a new one, and you have a new setting and stuff. You could do that.
But yeah, Bofuri also had delays, but it's been back for a few weeks, so not as big as the Kubo and the Nier delays, but still happened.
But more delays. The second season of Demon King Academy got delayed, which I don't know. The season's been pretty.
What's causing all the delays? That's what I got. I feel like we've discussed this before,
allegedly
but, like,
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it's probably also just bad scheduling. But
oh yeah, COVID was like.
And another thing is because COVID hit like Japan and China at the same time, and they outsourced to China for a lot of stuff, and so it's just like a wombo combo.
Yeah, I forgot that happened a couple months ago. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that the Demon King is delayed to July, which I don't know. The season's been pretty fucking ass, so I'm not particularly like devastated at all. And then Ayakashi Triangle was delayed for a little bit to the point where I watched the first episode. I'm probably just gonna wait until the Blu-ray's out so I can watch it as God intended with uncensored. But
God intended.
Ayakashi Triangle actually kind of a fun watch. At the first few episodes, I can't say it was good by any means, but I had fun watching the first couple episodes.
Yeah. Was there anything else delayed? I mean, there were other things delayed, but I'm not watching any of them, so I don't have any nothing to say there. I'm trying to. Speaking of fun things, Buddy Daddies was pretty fun. I thought. I went in thinking like maybe like a Spy Family type of thing, but it definitely, I feel like encapsulates probably what it would actually be like to have like sort of a family or whatever if you were working in a dangerous line or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll shift tones whenever it fucking feels like, which is also something that I think really works for the thing. It'll have its cute moments, but it'll never let you forget what like the actual backdrop of everything is. I don't know if it's like I don't know. PA Works just does like consistently like pretty good anime to watch. They did Kong Ming or whatever, and a bunch of other shit that people would know. But yeah, I had fun watching it. Pretty decent production quality as well. I thought it was gonna have 13 episodes instead of 12, so I'm interested to see how they're gonna end it next episode tomorrow. But I guess
wait,
why did you?
It's
good to know that it's not just like Spy Family, but different, and that it has kind of its own identity.
Yeah, I say Spy Family, but it's not like they're spies. Really. They're hitmen, which is a fair bit different, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I like the idea of it actually kind of delving into what it would be like to have that kind of family dynamic, whereas in obviously Spy Family, it's more of like a hush secret type of thing.
Yeah, but it does is like if Yor was a man and there were two Yors, and she actually like did work. You actually got to see your action.
Yeah. So yeah, that's funny. I have some thoughts that I have, but it's manga thoughts. So pin in that.
Can't spoil.
Yeah.
Pin that. Manga readers might be thinking the same things.
Yeah, I got spoiled on Twitter. I hate people on Twitter that are like, their anime onlys aren't ready for this next season. They just fucking drop a panel. I'm like, you're right, I wasn't ready.
Thank God. Okay. I don't follow any anime.
I don't have any context, but Yor will finally get to do something, I guess, is all I know.
That is, yes. And I don't think that part is a spoiler, but I know that that's not what you got spoiled on. But I don't think it's a spoiler to be like Yor will be a character at some point in the series, because he really wasn't throughout the first bit of Spy Family.
Yeah, maybe like season 1, but like season like part 2 or whatever was like really, I don't know. She existed, I guess. She had like her one episode to learn how to cook one dish, and that was all she did.
So what are some other important things? So. I don't want to talk about Tokyo Revengers. But
I don't want to talk about Tokyo Revengers either. Glad we agree.
Tokyo Avengers.
I don't think we watched Tomo-chan.
I did not. A lot of people really liked it though.
It was pretty good. Yeah, I heard it was pretty good. Just doesn't quite look like my thing. I don't really like tomboy characters, and I don't know if that's a fair assessment. But I feel like this is like a tomboy anime, so it's if I don't like
That seems to be the focus.
characters, that's kind of a fair take to me to just be like, yeah, I don't know, it feels like not my thing.
I mean, when you title a show Tomo-chan as a girl, I mean, I feel like it's got to be like a pretty big focus.
Yeah.
It's not just a that happens to be there kind of character. It's probably a thing. I always
Nagatoro
hate the cliches around those, but yeah.
Nagatoro probably was good for the people who like Nagatoro. I hate
it. It's like sometimes
people who are into that.
It's the like kind of writing that I fucking despise, where like characters just mean all the time, but then it's like, oh, but they really do like, care. And I'm like, okay.
I absolutely hate it, and I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
In that reasoning. That's the same reason I couldn't get into Nagatoro season 1.
It was more bearable than season 1 because she's definitely less of an asshole, but
I believe that, and I'm sure it gets better as it goes on. I just wasn't all that interested in like continuing with it, which is fine. I acknowledge it probably gets good or is bearable, but the first season was not bearable for me. I could not stand the Nagatoro character, but it has pretty good ratings for season 2, and people like it, so couldn't have been too bad.
Yeah, to be fair, at this point, the only people watching season 2 are the people who could stand season 1. But speaking of bad romances, and by that I mean really good romances that got fucked in the ass by the adaptation. I've only said it.
Not the song by Lady Gaga. Yeah.
I've only said it 10,000 times throughout the podcast, but fuck the Angel adaptation. Holy shit, that show is so bad. I'm so fucking pissed.
I didn't watch it because you told me it was bad.
It's bad. Don't watch it. I would never subject anyone to this.
I have enjoyed it, but I understand why it is bad. In the sense that, like, I understand why it upsets you. I think we've also talked about this on the podcast.
Non-light novel readers would never get it.
but I do get it because I at times would go to an episode and I'd be like, why is it paced like this? Like, why are we progressing at the speed we're progressing? And then Daniel will be like, oh, we're in volume 3 right now and it's episode 4, and it'd be like, oh, okay, that's not exactly how it's paced, but that's how it feels. So it does. I do feel it to an extent, but I don't like have the frame of reference to be like, oh, it's so much worse than the light novel. So to me, it's still kind of like nice and cute.
Dude, I remember it was the dawn of the final day, the final episode, and I'm on my phone at like work or whatever, about to leave, and the episode is already aired by that point because it airs like pretty early in the morning. And I hit Instagram, and on my like For You page is like a scene from the final episode, and I'm like, and there's something like, surely I'm not misremembering where this was placed. This is at the end of novel 4. There's no fucking chance that they just fucking zoom to that. Lo and fucking behold, I go watch the episode. I'm like, holy shit. They just skipped to the end of novel 4. I'm so pissy about that.
To enact your revenge, you need to start spoiling people on Twitter about what happens.
No.
It's like, that's actually like... It's actually what you need to do next.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to enter my villain arc.
GT is go spoil the director on what happens in the first 3 volumes, because clearly he didn't read it.
Yeah, I think it, I don't know, Li Hua Wang? Fuck you. That's all I got to say. They have never done anime staff roles, director for this show. Nothing else. Literally nothing else. Why the fuck did they get this motherfucker to come direct this?
But speaking about romances that are good, but weren't adapted like shit, I've talked about Magi Revo a lot. Anyone who's listened to the podcast a lot, so I won't say much more about Magi Revo. I thought the finale was really good, and probably my favorite anime of the season.
I'm surprised it's not rated higher.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I'm just gonna say it. People don't get into Yuri, or they do, and you're either a Yuri person or you're not a Yuri person.
Even outside of like if you're a Yuri person or not, it was just a well-made. I guess.
I agree, and it really wasn't even that Yuri until like at least the second half, if not the finale,
like the end or whatever. Yeah, like.
But even still, I just think that's even it as just a tag. Like I don't want to say some of the things I want to say, Um, you get it.
What's that
But
mean?
It
I
had
just
to
feel like
pay
I
the.
feel like there are some people. It had to pay the Yuri tax. There will be
Probably the
some people
isekai
who
tax.
won't. Yeah, there will be some people who won't watch it because it's a Yuri, and some people who won't watch it because it's an isekai. That's just how it goes. And but it was really good. It was really well done. Also really well done romance was Ice Guy and his cool female colleague.
I kind of wish I watched that one, but I didn't, and so I don't know if I'll ever go back to it.
It is very nice. I think you would enjoy it quite a bit. It's another one of those like vibes of like an Angel or a Kubo where it's not necessarily a romance that's progressing as much as it's kind of like a day in the life of.
Yeah,
Um, but it deals with more adult characters and in a more adult setting, and it's kind of nice that it still has some of the charms of those types of romances, but also is kind of its own version. Kind of similar to like what a lot of people like about Wodokoi. But I think it's not as grown up feeling as a Wodokoi, is how I would describe it.
yeah. It also has like it's like a supernatural element or whatever, which is kind of like random, I guess. Does that like play into anything, or is it just like there to be cool?
So it's such a gimmick. I don't think it's a spoiler to talk about this. So, the supernatural element is essentially the fact that there's just a few people in the series, including the main character, that are just descended from like creatures or supernatural beings, and therefore have powers. So, like, you know how he's called Ice Guy? That's because
Yeah,
he's literally a guy who just produces ice and snow. And
He's like
like,
a descendant of like the Yuki Ono, right?
yeah,
Or something
he's a
like that, yeah.
descendant of like
Or like
an ice
Frostlass IRL.
goddess. Yeah, basically. And he's not the only character that is like descended from some ancient thing, but it's like it's funny. This is how it would feel to me if it was the My Hero universe, but it was the first generation of heroes. They were just people with random ass superpowers, and everyone's like kind of okay with it, but it's only a couple people.
right.
But yeah, it plays into things, and it's like a funny plot point, but it's also not like the same as a lot of supernatural or like power things because it's not a driving narrative plot in the same way. It's just kind of like, you know, he is a nice guy, and when he gets really embarrassed, he makes it snow,
The
like
classic.
that type of thing. But it is good. It is enjoyable. I think as a pure romance, it might be my favorite of the season. But I think Majirevo's story, in addition to its romance plotlines, were good enough that it probably is my favorite over this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say Inspector's really romance. I also haven't watched second season yet, which I need to binge soon. But that's the thing. But also Monogatari, not to be confused with Monogatari, because one's good and one is the thing I'm about to talk about. So I don't know. It's just a really dog shit shonen. It's like the best way I can describe it. That also has like a romance like subplot that kind of exists whenever they feel like mentioning it. I don't know.
But then it also kind of doesn't. Yeah, that's fair.
It's I don't know. The two main characters that are supposed to like have this like potential romantic connection at some point have like the character chemistry of ammonia and bleach. And then
That's a good analogy.
And then I don't know, the fights aren't that entertaining, so it's just lost all of its charm as a shonen. And then the characters have the depth of a fucking kiddie pool that's been dried up in the fucking desert heat or something.
What are these? What are we coming up with these?
I don't know. I just need to find a way to talk shit on this anime. It's getting a second season, and I hate everyone who agreed that it should get a second one.
One.
I have to be one of like 5 people on the planet who watch this dog shit. Now I gotta sit through another season whenever that shit comes out. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe it'll get better. I doubt it. But yeah, no, I cannot say I was entertained in any capacity. I binged it too, which fucking sucked. Yeah, I don't. It's just I hate to be the guy that says nothing happened, but it's like a really bad pacing. It feels like there aren't a lot of events that happen, but the characters are supposed to be growing at like, I don't know, like in the first episode. So in this world or whatever, there's like, it's the classic like society takes on like fucking evil thing or whatever. But this guy, he's like, oh, I hate these. I think in the show it's like Tsukogami or whatever. I'll just call them fucking bad things. Tsukomogami, that's what it is. But he's like, oh, I fucking hate these things because they killed my family. But then he has to go live with this girl who has like a family of those things. Because like in the world, like there are chill versions of them or whatever. But he's like, he's wanting their revenge or whatever, and so he's in the house like, I'm not gonna accept them. And then like next episode, it's like, all right, I guess I accept them. And it's like, okay, so all of his trauma's gone. That's cool. I don't know. It was bad. It was just bad. And speaking of bad, yeah, we just should. Okay, you know what? Actually, we're gonna speak of not as bad as everyone says before I go into the bad. Spy Classroom is not a 59% worthy show.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is it actually good?
So,
2 episodes and then
I think I can see, like I don't think I agree with the way that they did things, but I also know I feel like I know why they did it. Based on, I don't know. I feel like it definitely got better in the second half, but it's just the way that they did the first didn't sit right with people, and I understand why. So what they did was like they went through in a few episodes like the entire first mission or whatever in like pretty quick pace. They like skipped the training, and like cut that out, but then they put it after it. And the reason they did that is because there's like a twist or whatever, and the problem is you can't really like keep that twist in a visual format. As compared to it's the tricky, like this only works in a novel type of twist, unless you like really change things, which they did, to make it work. And I feel bad because I feel like it's the best thing they could have done, but it just doesn't work. I don't know. It was an attempt to take this series into like a visual format, and it doesn't really work. In the beginning, I think it got a lot better in the second half.
They kind of like figured it out.
Yeah, well, it's not even that they figured it out. It's just like they didn't have to like work around this goofy twist or whatever that doesn't mean a whole lot in like. I think there was a way they could have done it, but it would have been a lot more difficult to. People would have been very confused. So I think it was always going to be difficult, and I think they probably took the worst route where people really fucking hated the show, because of it. But I think it got better, and I don't regret watching it. Probably like a 7 out of 10 or whatever. I do have I was supposed to get the novels today, actually, but the package marked delivered was not actually delivered, so now I have to deal with that. And so,
and
yeah, I don't know. My shelf is just a home to all the novels that get shitty adaptations.
But no Danmachi.
The Danmachi is a good adaptation, though, so it doesn't need to be on my shelf.
Only season 2 of Danmachi needs to be on your shelf.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
we can segue to what you wanted to talk about. Because this is probably my biggest disappointment of this season. I actually think I didn't dislike it as much as Daniel did, but the finale really dropped the ball.
Yeah, Giant Beast of Ours was the first 2 episodes. They gaslit me. They really did. I thought this shit was gonna be gas, but no, it was ass. It was just, oh my god. I don't think it's getting a second season, and that's gonna make this even worse because that finale was so damn bad. That was awful.
That finale begged for a second season. So the description of this anime that we found after the finale, where we're looking at stuff that fit it perfectly, was essentially it is a mediocre adaptation of a JRPG game that doesn't.
What?
There is no game it is
It is an
adapting.
original, right? So it's
Feels
not,
it
it's
is
not
the
like
original.
actual. Yeah.
It is the original. It feels like a bad adaptation of a game that was probably pretty decent, but the game doesn't exist, so it's kind of just a bad original that had promise. Like there were good things that it did, it just didn't do them enough, and it didn't build on them, I think, the way it should have.
Yeah, it tried to do way too much.
They tried to wait for 12 episodes. I remember right after watching the finale, talking with Daniel and Fresh about this, and I really think if they did the same amount of content in 24 episodes, it really could have been good.
Yeah,
But
I think if they fucking did not introduce the two side characters that they did. Melon and Romana are the most useless motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. They had no purpose in the show other than they had needed to like fill out the cast or some shit. I don't know.
I also feel though like Jiro could have had a lot better development. And
I think he developed way too fast.
Yeah, it kind of was the abridged version of how he should have developed. So it's like similar thing. If I had the same amount of development for him but double the content to get there, I would have been more satisfied with it.
Yes, I feel like he just changes his tune like kind of out of nowhere, like really quickly. Like he goes from like, yeah, I'll help you get to the next town, then I'm fucking off, to like he just never does that. They get to the next village and he's like, yeah, you know what, I'll stay.
Like whatever. Guess we're here. It was a really, like Daniel said, first two episodes are really good. It was a really promising anime, but it just didn't.
It fell off very hard.
Something happened. It didn't have enough time, or it didn't have enough like love.
They tried to get too cute with it.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It had promising things, but it wasn't quite there.
Yeah, something I'll mention in passing, the Farmy Sky, it existed. It was a show I watched every week.
Or are we in the Isekai hour? I got you for this. They will be quick, but
yeah.
I had Reborn to Master the Blade. There's more to that title, but I'm just gonna end it at that. And this was a good watch. It's an isekai. Like I don't think this is the type of anime I would tell anyone to watch if they want to be watching a, revolutionary isekai. But if you like isekai and like cool main characters, this one had that. And then also, Reincarnation of the Strongest Exorcist. Similar thoughts. Surprisingly fun watch every week. And the MC isn't quite as based as the one from Hero King, but it is he is an isekai MC.
Yeah, and I guess the last show I have to mention, because it's the last one on my list that we haven't talked about, I think. Well, I didn't talk about Revenger. I watched one episode of Revenger, and I'll finish. I have to binge it. But the first episode was ass, and that's why I haven't watched it since. So I'm sure, and the scores are 65%, so I can imagine it only stays mid as fuck. But I'll get to it eventually. But speaking of mid, Nihon animation, I don't know. It's what? Like there's a world where they animate it with the visuals they have in the ending, and I would have liked it so much more.
Yeah, that's fair, but the content was fun. I mean, it's also like
I haven't watched Niji.
You haven't watched.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He hasn't watched the source material. He's only seen the chibi version because
you have to understand the lore. The lore behind it.
I didn't know the lore. Yeah, we were waiting.
I mean, it's not quite that, but it's hard to watch the chibi special of a show without knowing the characters in the show because half the jokes don't necessarily.
There's a watch order.
We were waiting for the ReZero event, and they were watching Nihon animation. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just fucking join them. I have an hour to kill, so we watched the whole thing. No clue what was happening.
It was probably still fun for you, but you don't have like the connection to the characters.
I have absolutely negative connection.
The animation it's a choice.
It's a doozy.
I'll say that. It's
3D chibi does not work at all.
I've seen a lot of 3D, including a 3D anime this season, kind of The Great Snow Sea, which is probably my third favorite anime of the season, right after Ice Guy, I'd say. It has been really good. I think a lot of people are turned away from 3D art style. We've had this conversation. That's fair.
Yeah.
And I also think that Kaina has a very intricate story to it. And that is at some points a good thing and at some points a bad thing. But overall, I think I have had a very good experience with it. I like all the characters. They feel like pretty realistic characters, other than the main antagonist, who is batshit crazy, but classic.
Yeah.
It's been really good. I think it has a movie coming out sometime eventually that I don't know that it's gonna finish the story because the manga is still ongoing. So clearly it's not finished. But the manga started in like February of last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe it's based on a webcomic or something farther than that. So maybe the story is finished somewhere. I know it has a movie. I feel like I kind of know the direction the movie should go based on the finale. And if it does go that direction, I'm not particularly sure what else they have to cover. So we'll see. I'm excited for the movie. I probably won't get to see it for like 5 years because that's how movies go.
We love movies.
And
Wait, what happened to that? Oh, never mind. No, I was thinking of something else.
Yeah. Only other thing I'll talk about other than Tsurune was great, the archery anime. As it always is, the animation to this is beautiful and it's got a good story. But shout out to D4DJ for being our idol anime of the season, even though it's not really idols. But
Yeah,
we didn't really
Neon
have
Animation was your idol animation of the season.
Yeah. We didn't really have a real idol anime of the season. And D4DJ second season was very fun. In the same way that I think I liked Bandori season 2, where it's not as much about a plot line happening. It's just kind of let's have fun and let's have a cool song every week or so.
Yep. But is that all we have for the old winter part of this?
I think that
yeah, I'm so excited for spring. I have to launch, bro.
I still haven't been able to watch the Little Do Fate Grand Order special, but that's
FGO.
out.
Yeah, Fate. Yeah.
Can't wait to drag Daniel to the.
Absolutely not. I will never touch another gacha game.
No. At the while we're in
AX,
LA,
yeah.
while we're in LA this summer, they're gonna have the Fate Strange Fake.
I was gonna watch that anyway, so I don't mind being dragged to that.
Yeah, we need information still. If it is at AX, there will be a large portion of us who will not. If we don't have to, we won't commit to the whole day, but I will commit an entire day of AX to standing in line just for that special.
Yes.
Hopefully, it doesn't come to that.
I would assume probably not. Hopefully, like if they have like an actual showing for something, they would have a big enough of like an area to hold.
Yeah, and that's the problem is we know it's in LA sometime around that general time, but we don't necessarily know where or how. But I have to assume it's going to be at AX because
probably
it's weird for it to be in LA around the end of June. I assume because it's not going to world premiere that much earlier than, or it's not going to premiere that much earlier than the world premiere on July 2nd. Like it's not going to be a full month or anything. So I have to assume it's going to be like June 30th or July 1st, just like a day or two in advance at AX.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. But next season,
there's a lot to. Well, I say there's a lot to look forward to. There's some things I'm very excited for, and then there's like everything else. We'll have to see how some things pan out, I suppose.
Dude, okay, I started reading Oshi no Ko yesterday.
Oh, you started reading it? How far?
Yeah.
How many chapters?
Oh, I'm not that far in. I'm
Yeah,
like,
don't
like
spoil
11 chapters in or something like that. I'm like not very far in at all. But bro, it's so sick. It's actually like insane. Like the premise of the story is like.
Wait, hold on.
Wow.
Don't say anything. Just let Pika go on blind. No premise.
Okay.
I am totally fine.
All I'm saying is it's out there. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And
Yeah,
it's sick. It's sick.
I think it will be an all-time first episode for sure.
Dude,
I think it's a movie for the first episode, so I don't even know how it wouldn't be an all-time.
I don't even know. But I was just saying.
What's the runtime?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the runtime in episode 1 that they were talking
An
about?
hour and a half or something?
So there's two ways you can go. It's either an hour and a half slot time, which means it'll still be over an hour, because other countries don't have United States talking advertisement slot times. Even in the United States, it'd still be like an hour.
It would still be an hour, just barely.
Yeah, but it'll be over an hour at worst. Because there was a translation that I saw that it's like during one of the trailers. Because I've been fucking slapping the trailers on repeat because the songs slap. The opening and ending sound really good. But one of the translations is like, because it had a pre-screening in a theater because it's basically a movie.
It is a movie. Yep.
But it said like theatrical, like pre-screen, like theatrical runtime of like 90 minutes or whatever. So I don't know if it's actually 90 minutes or if it's just that was a mistranslation of like it's gonna have a 90-minute slot time. But
it'll be a fun time. I can't imagine that you make that type of decision unless you know it's gonna be
a slapper. It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be big, bro.
Like that is such a bold decision to make for mid content. So I'm expecting it to slap, and I think I would be more surprised, honestly, if I didn't watch the movie in 2 weeks and be like, "What the fuck? That was crazy."
Yeah, I assume it'll do like all of volume 1, and assuming you are like 11 chapters in, I think that's like right after like volume 1 ends. I think it's gonna be it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited for Oshinoko.
I'm trying to go into this the same way Daniel went into Licorice Recoil, having just no idea about anything, and then I'm expecting to just have any expectations I have.
Just don't have any.
Yeah, I went into Oshinoko completely blind as well. I knew it was by the Love is War author, and that was it. I went into it, and I stopped 6 chapters in because I was like, okay, I don't really feel like binging anything right now. Because like, it was pretty interesting at the start, but I'm like, okay, I want to wait for like Love is War to end, and I'm going to binge this. And then I binged it all in like a day. Because like, oh my god, I wish if I hadn't stopped at like chapter 6, if I had just gone a few more, I would have read the whole thing. I wouldn't have waited for Kage to end. It's so, the volume 1's really good. I think it's about as good as a hook to us, because it like hooks you like 10 fucking times because you don't know. It's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited. I will never forgive the Japanese if they fuck this up.
I've been so busy today because like I had like a couple meetings, I had a doctor's appointment, drive home, and then this. But I'm like, oh, I gotta read it. So tomorrow I'm gonna freaking blaze through like 20 chapters or something. It's so good. It's really good. It's really good.
It's really good. I think I don't know how long the manga can go on for because of the premise isn't like a setup for like a very long running like series or whatever. But I hope it goes on for a bit longer, as long as it can, without like compromising the quality of the work. But yeah, whether it ends in like fucking 30 chapters or 100 chapters, I don't know. As long as if it ends well, it's probably my favorite thing I'm reading right now, and it's definitely been one of my favorites like I've read in general. Like I don't read too much manga, but like it's good. It's really good.
Really good. Yeah. Good stuff.
But yeah, to avoid potentially spoiling PK, we will be moving on to something else. And plus, I've gushed about Oshinoko for like multiple episodes.
Yeah, I get it now. But I'm sure it gets better.
We'll talk about something that I can't spoil for you guys while we talk about it, which is Dr. Stone. There's a new Dr.
Stone. I read the manga too.
Yeah. I
haven't watched the first season. I do have to watch this show though. Everyone says it's really good. So
the new Dr. Stone season coming out.
Just read the manga.
Yeah, you love studying. You'd love Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
My friends were talking about that. I was like, the first time I found out they ever watched anime, like some of my high school friends, they were like talking about Dr. Stone. So that's still ingrained in my brain. So maybe I'll just read the manga. That might be a good idea. But yeah,
the manga's a good read. I believe this should be adapting my favorite art. It might be the next season. Well, what would be the next season?
It's gonna be split core, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you're right. So it definitely should be. adapt. Yeah, it is split. You're right. It should be adapting my favorite arc during at least one of those cores. I don't remember if it's the next arc immediately after, starting in a week, or if it's the arc after that. But should be adapting my favorite arc of the series. I'm pretty excited for it. They do a really good job with Dr. Stone. I think the material's pretty good. So
Yeah,
should be a banger.
should be fun. Yeah.
Another thing that'll probably be a banger, even though
we all talk shit on.
maybe not for us, but Demon Slayer has.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll have fun watching the fights, and then I'll never think about it until the finale comes out, and then I'll have fun watching that, and then never think about it ever again.
Yeah, I've already read the source material for Demon Slayer. You did too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's an arc, and it'll be done pretty well because Ufotable does pretty good jobs and stuff, and I don't know. At this point, I feel like they kind of have the Demon Slayer formula down, where it's like they will do this arc the exact amount of justice that this arc deserves, and then they'll give it Pog animation on top of that, and it'll like shoot up like 20 rating points.
Yeah, and I love having read the manga because now like the fans of it can't be like, oh, just you wait. Like, no, bitch, I read the manga. I can hate on this as much as I want.
I don't have to wait.
I have the power. I don't need to wait. I know that I'm not gonna care.
But it'll be good. People will talk well about it. It's
it'll be fun. As much as I hate on it, it's a good enough. It's better than 90% of the dog shit I watch.
Correct. I think I will not like be loading this up every week. Like, oh, I guess I'll watch Demon Slayer this week. I think it'll just be all right. Let's see Ufotable cook this week.
Yeah, like quick like hit of dopamine for the animation, then move on.
Yep, exactly. It's not like I'm gonna be surprised by any story plot points. So,
at this point, let's just keep going on a shonen run. Hell's Paradise airs in a day, apparently.
Is it tomorrow? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Or like
it's in a day exactly, according to AniList, or a day 9 hours. Close enough. It's like what Saturday?
Yeah.
Or no,
it's something. If you're listening to this podcast, Hell's Paradise is probably out.
Probably, yeah.
Actually, because it'll come out at like 10 a.m. on Saturday, and we post at 3 p.m. every Saturday. Without fail.
It's got the map adaptations. I'm sure it'll be like pretty good in some capacity. I know nothing about it, and I'm not going to read anything about it, so maybe I'll have a fun surprise waiting for me. That or it'll be another shonen that I add to my list of things that I talk shit on.
I don't plan on watching it right now, but it might. I don't have a lot of stuff I'm watching next season. By design, I'm kind of behind on a lot of stuff, and there wasn't too many things that interested me. But if this one's really good, who knows? Maybe I'll pick it up.
Yeah, there's not like too much going on next season anyway. As like it like even my list is like a bit like smaller than usual, which is probably for the best.
I think the problem is there was a lot, like most seasons, there's a few random like one-off things that catch my interest, and I didn't really feel that way this season.
Yeah,
like there's no random isekais that I'm like, oh, I'll give that a shot or anything.
Oh fuck! God,
kind of.
Gotta put why did I thought I had this upon planning already? What the fuck? God dang it! Okay, I just added another thing to my watching. It's fucking Kizuna Eye thing, the fucking original VTuber or whatever.
I passed it when I was scrolling, and I was like, I wonder if I'll watch that. I don't think I will, but that's like another thing. What's probably going to happen is if it has good music, Lugia's going to send me the music, and then I'm going to start watching it, and that's just how it'll go.
Yeah, I didn't realize what studio was doing it. It should be, well, they're collaborating on it, but
yeah,
it'll be something, I suppose.
But yeah, there just wasn't a lot of the random things airing that caught my interest, so most of the stuff I'm watching are either continuing things or like slam dunk animes like Oshinoko, that it's like, yeah, of course I'm watching Oshinoko.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm watching Anime in Another World on my smartphone too, airing in 3 days.
Yep, that's a show. It's airing in 3 days for sure.
I kind of hope episode 1's a recap episode because I have no idea what I don't remember season 1 very much at all. I remember bits and pieces. I remember gags that happened, but
maybe someone's got a recap out there
show.
for you.
I kind of need a refresher on it.
Mashal is something. I bet this is gonna be ass. I can't wait for it to.
I cannot in good conscience watch Mashal until someone tells me it's good. I think that's where I stand with it.
Dude, this thing looks whack.
It looks like something I will not like or really like, and there's no in between, and I don't know.
My mid shonen detector's going off whenever I look at it, but I'm gonna watch it anyway.
But I'm pretty sure the source material is like pretty well regarded. I think.
I don't know.
I don't trust
all the shonens.
I don't trust anime made by this guy, bro.
That is fair.
Yeah, mushroom head guy.
Oh, what the fuck? What else has this guy made? These are all his original. That's all he's done. Okay.
That's all he's done. Bro, you can't trust a guy with this kind of profile picture, bro.
Yeah, I agree. If we get halfway through the season and you're over here telling me Mashal is your next video idea, maybe I'll.
Mashal's the goat.
But like, if I start seeing posts on the main channel about Mashal, that might be the point where I start watching it. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch.
The main character looks like the guy from freaking Mob Psycho or whatever.
Yeah, there's
Harry Potter meets Mob Psycho.
The top thread, the top thread on the Mashal page on AnyList says describe the series without talking about One Punch Man, Mob Psycho, or Harry Potter. None of those things. Well, I like Mob Psycho, but I don't like Harry Potter. I don't particularly like One Punch Man that much. So 1 for 3 on that for me. But people will probably like it. It'll probably be, like you said, mid shonen monkey. Popular, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think it's Shonen Jump, probably.
It is.
Yeah, so
and that does say a little bit because it survived the Shonen Jump fucking saw blade of just everything dies after 50 chapters.
Shonen Jump, whenever the manga isn't about a secret society that fights evil things.
Yeah, exactly. So it survived that, so maybe it's decent.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I don't have a track record that Shonen fans probably like too much, so I don't know. We'll find out. I guess something that is technically next season, but we're not going to get to see for like 20 years. The next Bunny Girl Senpai adaptation, kind of. They're doing movies for the next couple of novels.
Movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's technically next season, but it's what, like 3 months away for the Japanese airing or something?
83 days for the Japanese release, yeah, which means we're going to be waiting. We might get like
83 years. 83 years.
It took a long time for the movie to come to theaters here.
I think that we may see it by the end of 2023, and that's like somewhat optimistic, but
that might be a little cope. But we'll find out eventually.
There's a Sailor Moon
movie. It is a movie. I nearly cried from the trailer, so it'll probably be good.
It'll be good. It's I like Bunny Girl. It's another one of those. I'm not really sure, because to the point that Bunny Girl's adapted, I feel like most of the characters we know have I don't want to say been dealt with, but you know what I mean. Like most of the stories from here on out are probably going to be newer characters or like setting up new characters for the future and stuff like that. So I don't really know what direction it's going to go from here, which is kind of fun.
I do think this movie makes sense though, because like obviously Kaede of now is a completely different character from Kaede of like pre-movie or like first movie.
Yes, and but that's why it's interesting, because she's kind of like the last one that I think we really haven't dealt with that I can think of. Maybe I'm forgetting someone.
I mean, yeah, basically. So we'll have to see what happens afterward.
But obviously, I know that there's more light novels after this.
Yeah.
So
the other movie we had confirmed seems to be about Mai in some capacity, but I don't know what else they do with that.
Yeah, it's also possible that we just start revisiting.
Yeah,
it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but
yeah, I know there is one of the other novels I was supposed to get does have a character we've technically met, like kind of like Copium. Like I don't know their fucking name or anything, but you've seen them in the anime. It's like an idol girl or whatever. So new character there. So yeah, we'll get to new characters and stuff. But yeah, that'll be a while before we actually get to see that.
Another movie airing next season that'll be a while before we get to see is the Black Clover movie. I think it's well, I know it's an original script. I don't know how involved in that process the Black Clover writer is. I think it's like somewhat involved, but it's still like a pretty original script.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it. It sounds like a shonen movie.
Oh, looking at the staff role, he's a chief supervisor to the movie, so you can.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Some influence, but it's still like a product made by other people.
Just looking over it,
which is fine. I've seen some information about this. It sounds like it's going to be a shonen movie, just like every other shonen movie, in like the good and potentially bad ways. We'll see how it's executed, but I'm excited for it. I like Black Clover, so I will probably have fun watching it.
I wonder how the Cafe Terraces and their goddess. What is it? The Cafe Terrace and goddesses. This seems like low.
So I am watching that,
Same.
and I've actually
Is
heard pretty good things about it. I don't think it's out yet. I've heard.
Really?
No, it comes out in a week.
Okay, yeah, that's what
I'm probably gonna watch it with a few people, but it has tags of comedy, ecchi, romance, harem.
The classic.
So there's only two directions it can go, right? Good or bad.
Yep, it's time.
There is no in between.
My next sports anime. Yeah, I don't know. It has this cafe in it. At this fucking point, I'm like legally obligated to watch anything that involves cafes. Which leads me to where the fuck is it on here? Damn, how far down is this bitch? I definitely went past it. But it's called Kwaisugi Crisis. And there's all I know is there's a cat involved.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's like cat cafe or something like that.
Yuzora from Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only heard about this a day or two ago. I feel like with our friend group, I'll end up watching this probably.
Cat cafe. Okay, it's just a cat cafe.
Cat cute girl cafe.
Comedy sci-fi.
I'm down. It sounds fun.
Wait, we skipped it when we were talking about the previous season. But what about the new Pokemon series?
So the new Pokemon series, I feel obligated as a Pokemon fan to watch.
Big Pokemon.
I want to see how.
I'll watch it because it's new.
Because I watched most.
I low-key kind of want to watch it too, but I feel like I'm going to get disappointed.
I watched most of Journeys, and Journeys was done pretty well in my opinion. Other than the Masters Ace. The Masters Ace was a little bit of a mess, but I thought Journeys overall was pretty good. I don't know how they're gonna do a real Pokemon anime without Ash and get us to buy into it, but I'm down to try.
The Pikachu is still in it. It's not the same.
Dude, fucking Captain Pikachu. No, it's Captain Pikachu this time. Completely different.
Okay.
There's Captain Pikachu that is very different.
Honestly, it's kind of like slightly turned me off of this when I saw Captain Pikachu get introduced, but whatever, it'd be like that sometimes. They gotta keep their mascot in there.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, but it's a new age for Pokemon where a cute anime girl takes over instead of Ash. We'll have to see how that goes with the youth.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to try this.
Okay.
And we'll
runtime of an hour for the first episode. Should be interesting.
Oh boy.
Yeah, which I think it needs, because once again, I need to, for this to be successful, people need to buy into the new MCs and pretty quick, because Pokemon fans have never known another MC.
That's true.
Ash, so it's a very different sell than, just
well, yeah, but like also like wouldn't people I mean, it's Pokemon, right? So I mean, it's like,
see, the problem is the people who don't want Ash to be the MC anymore are mostly the people who don't watch the Pokemon anime. So most of the people who do watch the Pokemon anime didn't mind Ash as an MC. So those are the people that you need to convince.
The studio that does all the Pokemon shit has to be so fucking happy that shit's over. Like as it was anyway.
I just hope that with this new quote generation of Pokemon, we can have like real, intelligent, good battles. Because while I do think that there are parts of Journeys where Ash was a good battler and had like real strategy, I think Ash's big character quirk as a trainer was always him doing unusual and like kind of
physically
cheating
impossible things. He literally breaks the game.
And it was one of those things that I feel like they never quite were able to get past because that was like his trademark, right? Doing shit like fucking breaking the sprinkler in Brock's gym and then thunderbolting an Onyx.
And overloading motor drive on
Yes, exactly. And so I hope that for me to like this, I hope that these two main characters are like real battlers, not using the same gimmicks that Ash would use. Because otherwise, it's just, hey, we got rid of Ash to give you the new Ash.
Honestly, I could subscribe to like both of them being dog shit to start.
And I think fine if they're bad at battling. I just don't want them to have the same like quirks as Ash.
Yeah, we're like they like kind of suck, but like it works because reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, quirks is in like they have their Game Shark plugged in, their action.
Yeah. The hacks, Hackermans.
Yeah.
There's a few other sequels happening this next season that I'm excited for.
There's like Mobile Suit Gundam sequel, I guess, for anyone who watches that. Dude, I actually liked when I watched that one Mobile Suit or the was it 00 or whatever. I actually liked that show, so I don't know. Maybe you should try another one.
I'll watch G-Witch at some point. But I don't know when that point will be.
You heard it here. This is the start of Spat's Gundam arc.
Mecha arc?
I can't wait to call them Power Rangers.
I like the show, but it's just, I don't know.
Birdie Wing has a second season next season. I'm excited. For me, it kind of started off, and I wasn't as into Birdie Wing, and then the second half of the season, I got more into it. So now season 2 is probably going to be doing more of the stuff that it set up from the second half. So it'll probably be a good season. I'll probably enjoy it.
Golf anime is interesting premise. I mean, it is a sports anime, but like, I don't know.
Yeah,
golf
I
is just like
recommend people to watch the first episode of Birdie Wing because you see it and you see the promo art, and it is a golf anime. Like it's not like the Grand Blue Dreaming, not being a diving anime. Like Birdie Wing is a golf anime, but it is one of those like this is not what I was expecting to sign up.
Squid Game golf.
Yeah. No, but I like the attitude.
This is like one of the it is an anime original, and it was like one of the things that was nominated. However much credibility you want to give to the Crunchyroll guests, but it was nominated for like best original anime for the Crunchyroll award. So there you go.
I think I've given definitely my opinion on how much I trust Crunchyroll, but
yeah. That's why I put that disclaimer there. But
I mean, compared to other originals, like dude, if fucking Healer Girl could make it onto there, anything could have made it onto there.
Osama Ranking has a side story that it's adapting. I don't know anything about the source material for the side story. I don't know what it covers. It's obviously a side story and not a continuation of the story, but it should be pretty fun. And I'm hoping that is like true and that is a fun side story and not like a side adventure like super serious thing. I kind of think given the Osama Ranking setting, it would be fun if this is like the feeling of adapting like cover stories and just like goofy stuff. I think that would make me be more excited about it.
Yeah, speaking of side stuff, Orgaru gets an OVA.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be fun. I think it's supposed to be like them in their 30 or whatever. So we'll get to see like not really an epilogue, I guess, but like a little bit of an afterward. Yeah, so that should be fun.
It'll be a good time. It's Ador Gairu to just release a full anime of my girl winning in the little.
They're doing the novel, so you never know. Maybe we'll get an anime
adaptation. Exactly. There is a novel of
the cope route.
Ending, so not to spoil for anyone the results there, but
we've definitely spoiled our Gairu before. It doesn't matter at this point.
Spoiled our Gairu. There's not a ton of romance anime this season that I was really interested in, but there was one that I do plan to watch, which is Yamada-kun to level 999.
Oh, yeah, I have that on the planet as well.
I have heard good things about the manga, and that's the extent of what I know.
Yeah, Inari's voicing the main girl, so that's good enough for me. I bid.
And then obviously, dude's a gamer. I'm assuming from the title. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Most of the time it's a bad thing, but maybe it's a good thing in this.
You never know. I think it depends on how it's like portrayed, I guess. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting. It was one of the few things that I knew nothing about that caught my interest, so I was like, it's kind of a light season for me. I'll add that to my list and see if it was worth my time.
Yeah, there's another romance that I'm going to be... Well, I think it's a romance anyway. Maybe not. It might just be like a friendship thing, but it's called Insomniacs After School. And that really speaks to me because I don't fucking sleep. So, it might be... It's the picture of it's fucking insomnia in the title. You can find it. But
yeah, that's what I tried searching out. Whatever. Anyway,
but it's like two people who have like insomnia, and then like it's like nighttime or whatever, and then they meet each other because they can't sleep, and it goes from there. I guess. I don't know anything. Call of the Night, but no vampire.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep seeing it, and I don't know. It hasn't really caught my interest, so I haven't planned on watching it. I could see it being really good. I read the little description of it, and it's like, that's interesting. I don't know if I'm down for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is very good.
Oh, it does have the fucking romance. I hate... Why is it... Alright, so it has romance on there, but I go down to tags, and the romance tag isn't there. I guess there's no, like, romance tag.
I mean, the thumbnail for the trailer looks pretty romantic, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, sometimes you'll get like these things like aren't marked as romances that are like 100% romances.
I don't know. Yeah,
I hate that shit.
Are weird.
But yeah, I don't think I have any other. Actually, no, I have multiple other romances.
There's one major thing we haven't talked about that I just noticed.
Yeah, there's a couple things,
and we don't need to talk too much about it. But okay, well, for me, Tonikawa.
Yeah, Tonikaku season 2. I really like the OP. I really like it a lot. I want the full song.
Oh, I haven't heard the OP yet.
I think I've heard it. I don't remember. I think I heard it.
You watched it with us in call.
I was with you guys when you watched it, and you guys kept telling me that they were dropping a ton of spoilers, and I didn't notice any of them. I might be an idiot. I don't know. Or maybe I just...
visuals go... It's like, the way that they do it, it's like, they do, but then they like try and like cover it up.
No normal person is gonna notice it.
They're like they're hiding a leaf in a forest, I guess, is like the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're hiding a forest in like a fucking open field. I guess, I don't know. It's enough to like you probably won't notice it if you're not thinking about it. But like me, manga reader, I'm like soy Jack. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm like.
Yeah, it's it'll be good. I liked Tonikaku's first season, and I know that the manga is pretty good from what I know. I've heard a few differing opinions from people I trust, but based on all the opinions I've heard, I'm under the general assumption that it's pretty good.
Season 3 will go pretty hard. Season 2 will be good. It'll just be like more cute stuff, but like season 3 and onward is like when things like start to get more like real in terms of story. And so I think that's where, I don't know, because I definitely I'm extremely biased with this series. I've been reading it for like 5 years at this point, basically. So I'm definitely biased, but I like it. It's good. And I'm excited for the next part of the anime. Yes, one major thing we did not talk about is the Konosuba spinoff. It's also coming out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't think I'm gonna watch it.
Wait,
I thought
spinoff is. Oh, is it just like an OVA?
It's like it's like a whole season about Megumin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. No.
So I don't really like Megumin that much, and
she's kind of
I thought it was
kind of
the
annoying.
next
No cap.
season. Yeah, I thought it was the next season for a while. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch it. But now that I know it's just a Megumin side story, I think I'm totally out on it. I'm not the biggest Konosuba fan to begin with. I don't dislike it. But I'm not like super into it either.
I think it'll be a decent look into like how season 3 might go, because like it's switching studios and all that. I think the staff might be staying the same, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, the studio shift, it'll be interesting. The trailer, like the first like PV or whatever they ever had for it, like looked really good, but it was also one moment in time, so it's like I can't like give too much, like, you know. I'll never trust PVs ever again.
It's like one of those things where I think like Konosuba fans will enjoy it. I don't plan to watch it because I don't like Megumin that much, and that's really the crux of it. If it was a Darkness side story or even an Aqua side story, I'd probably be like, yeah, I guess I'll watch it. But
those two are tolerable. I mean, I've only seen Megumin from clips in the movie, so maybe if she's different in their actual seasons of the anime, but I don't know. I never liked her. That's just like the style of character, I guess. So.
Yeah. I don't think there's like technically any likable, like they're all like kind of
really
pieces of shit.
Yeah, there's not really.
Yeah, that's true, character. But it's like different versions that are like some aspects are more tolerable. I don't know.
Yeah.
None of them are particularly likable, but I dislike Megumin the most.
Yeah, you're just a hater, man.
Yeah, amen. I am.
Yeah. I guess before we sign off here, we'll get some more. Obviously, I watch too fucking much, so I have a couple other things. I don't know what the fucking English version of this is called. Hold on, let me look. My Clueless First Friend looks cute, and I'll watch it. But one of my friends has been gassing up The Dangers in My Heart. He fucking hates everything he looks at, but he really likes this, and so I think that speaks to how I say that. So it speaks to how good it is, but his favorite anime of all time I fucking despise, so maybe it'll be dog shit. I don't know.
What is it? Is it Gamers?
No, The Dangers in My Heart is what it's called.
No. What is his favorite?
His favorite, it's Mondaiji. The problem children are coming from another world or whatever.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard of it at least. So yeah.
Yeah. But he's been gassing up The Dangers in My Heart. He's read the manga for a while. Looks like it has decent production quality, so I'll be watching that. And then the final thing that I haven't mentioned is Heavenly Delusion, which I don't know anything about it, but based on the title sounding cool, it is my dark horse for the season.
Fair enough. I'm at the moment, there's nothing really else. I'm probably going to watch Auno Orchestra, but otherwise, there's a lot of things that I could be swayed into watching if I just end up in a random call with someone or 3 weeks pass and everyone's saying it's the greatest thing ever, or if the Kizuna Ai anime has really good music. But at the moment, there's nothing else I think for me that I'm really considering taking a look at until I get farther in the season and hear people talking good about stuff.
Yeah. I'm just really excited for Oshinoko. That's the only thing I care about, technically, I guess.
I'm actually really
where I am too. There's a lot of things that I have some interest in, but I've heard so much said about Oshinoko, and I know nothing about it, and that excites me.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. And if they give it what it deserves, it'll... I haven't looked at the staff. I'm kind of scared to look at the staff. His director.
If they don't give it what it deserves, then Daniel's last straw.
My last straw. I'll never forgive the Japanese. I'll be done. I can't really tell. I haven't watched like any of the things he's directed. I don't know.
Yeah. He did key animation.
He's done some direction for Yamano Suzume. When it's like, I hate when it's episode direction. Like, fuck, I don't remember what happened in whatever episode he specifically did.
So he did Wataten, which none of us have watched, and that won't change.
I think
Surely
Lydia likes Asteroid in Love.
Yeah, Asteroid in Love I've heard good things about. Selection Project I've heard really good things about. So, and obviously the episode stuff and the key animation. Like I love New Game. We watch Encouragement to Climb. Like those aren't director roles, but we like those things, so
Yeah.
potentially work done there. Yeah, I don't know. Based on the things that he's directed, I don't see a reason to think that it'll go badly.
Yeah, from the PV, everything looks really good, but I just said earlier I'd never trust another PV, so we'll have to see. Plus, we have seen like very little outside of like what would be the first episode in the PVs. Yeah. But,
so it's it'll be interesting. Hopefully it's done well, because I think I can't handle another season of one of Daniel's favorite things not being done well.
I don't think I can handle it either. Maybe I have a little bit more of the investment into my existence. The Fuck Daniel fund has been going crazy lately, so hopefully Oshinoko can escape.
We'll trust.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is like if I while I'm continuing to read the manga, and if I like, I assume I will. If I really love it, I'm scared that I'm gonna get disappointed by the anime. If I like the manga too much, so I'm gonna wait until the first episode comes out and have people review it. Otherwise, I don't want to ruin my enjoyment by watching the anime.
I think
I'm scared, man.
Surely it'll slip, regardless.
Okay.
The other thing I'll be watching, just picked it up.
Yeah.
Resh and I are gonna watch the Why Raylina Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion, which is another villainous anime, which Resh and I end up watching a lot of villainous animes together apparently. But I've heard good things about this, so I jokingly sent it to Resh and was like, "Hey, do you want to watch this together?" And so now I'm watching that. And the characters, half of them have like American sounding names, and I don't know what's up with that. So
yeah, I love the number one well, not the number one thread. Well, you know what? No, the number one thread. I don't know. This. It's not like it's like a newer thread above it or whatever. But it's just don't read the synopsis for Oshinoko. On the it might be a little difficult if you're trying to look at the thread.
It's in a place that the synopsis has probably already been read for you to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's going to be a really good like blind experience for people.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be. I'm very excited.
Same. I'm glad I started reading it. Sick.
Yeah,
I'm excited. When does the first episode come out?
April 12th.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to get the subs. I don't know how good High Dive is about that. I'm pretty sure High Dive is the one who has it. Yeah,
the problem is I feel like they're not always consistent with it. So it's like sometimes they're good. I have to assume that the rollout for Oshinoko.
I think they probably spent a fucking bag on this shit, and so they're gonna have their best people working on it.
Bro,
we're having this too much. We gotta stop before people get disappointed.
I remember when fucking High Dive had Review Starlight, and that was like the era where people were discovering High Dive because it had Review Starlight and some other exclusive that were both bangers that season, and everyone had to go to High Dive to watch them. And it wasn't the first that anyone had heard of High Dive, but it was like it was the first that like the public really knew about High Dive because it had a few seasonals that were things that people were like, yeah, you can't really miss this one.
Yeah, I think they made a very good choice. I'm surprised Crunchyroll did not fight tooth and nail to steal this from High Dive, but maybe, like, I don't know how all in they went with getting the license for this. Yeah.
I mean, it
massive
feels like
Crunchyroll L.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like this should be like an all-in type of deal. Like, if I am airing nothing next season but Oshino Ko on my website, it might still be a win.
It would, yeah. It would definitely probably be a win, yeah. iDive has been getting some pretty good, like, exclusives. Like, at this point, like, they have Danmachi, but at this point, like, I don't know, you're kind of, like, in or out with Danmachi probably by now, unfortunately.
High Dive has always been good at getting a few good...
And then...
Like, I don't know what their
contracts
look like. Yeah. I kind of feel like High Dive might take a quality approach when they do contracts, and so they don't try to have a lot of anime, but the anime they try and get are the ones that they really like.
I don't know. They're the only ones who kept a redo of Healer. I just don't think they give a fuck over there. I think they just.
I just feel like consistently.
I can respect that though.
Like a lot more, but High Dive also will have like niche things or bangers.
Yeah, I do respect not giving a fuck though. Like, I think that's like something we don't really like. Crunchyroll will do a lot of like censorship stuff, while fucking High Dive is like, yep, we got redo of Healer. Come watch it.
Why not?
Not that I think anyone should watch redo of Healer, but you know,
please don't.
Don't watch redo of
Healer. I'll say it. I will specifically be the one to say, do not watch redo of Healer. It's not next season where the Suzume movie comes out, right? Because it was this past season, right?
It already released in Japan. Yeah, I don't know when we. Right. I know Crunchyroll's like selling tickets or some shit. I don't or something. Or like they're showing where screenings are. I don't think I'll go watch it in theaters, but
I don't watch it in theaters, but I do want to watch it when it comes out.
I've heard, well, I say I've heard good things about it. It's supposed to be good, but here's the thing, right? Like, you just never know.
I watched the trailer and I thought the trailer was pretty good.
It seems more interesting than like, because like Weathering with You was just your name too. So I feel like this is gonna be has its own. I want this to have its own identity. That's like the one thing that like. That's like the one thing that keeps me from like going to theaters to watch is like I don't know if it's just gonna be like fucking Your Name 3 or if it's gonna be like its own proper story.
Yeah, I do. As someone who has not watched Your Name or Weathering with You, I still agree with that opinion in the sense that I would like for it to be its own thing more than just not a continuation or anything, but the same vibes as the last two.
Yep. And
I was pretty impressed by the PV. I thought it looked pretty good, so definitely will be giving it a shot.
Yeah.
Who knows? Once I watch it, then I'll finally go watch Your Name and Weathering with You after that.
Yep. Your Name is worth it. It's good.
And speaking of continuations, this is the end of the continuation of the episode. I hope you all enjoyed this 47th episode. If you did, you should subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow on whatever audio device thing you're listening to. If you... Oh, fuck, do I have to change out those links now? If you're on YouTube and you want to listen to the audio-only side of things, you can go to the Anchor link, but Anchor is rebranded to Spotify for podcasters, which I don't know how that affects our Anchor link. So I might have to go through and change all those. Which means I have to change like 46 of them. Fucking damn it. I hope I don't have to do that. I'll have to test the link later. Anyway, but if you're on the audio-only side of things and you'd like to check out the YouTube, it is the Order an Anime podcast. You cannot miss it. YouTube actually has introduced like a podcasting like area, but the problem is you can put whatever the fuck you want in there. So there's just like a bunch of normal videos in the podcast section, and it's like, why the fuck is this even here? So it's very primitive monkey tool, and I think only the US has it. So I don't know, it exists, I guess. And I hate that I had the same shit with the fucking handles. My main channel is the last channel that I had, like the last account that I had that was able to get because I have my personal for watching stuff. I have Gochuucast, and I have my main channel. My main channel is the last one to get the handle. So just straight up Daniel was taken, had to put the fucking hyphen in there or whatever. And then fucking Gochuucast, the fucking podcast channel, has podcast in the name, is the last account to get the slow rollout for the podcast tab. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, Saturday 3 p.m. EST is when we drop episodes, unless tragedy strikes. But
say that.
unless I die, and we have to at least make it to the 1 year mark. We're almost at 52. So I'll die after that.
Surely we can make it to episode 69.
We have to make it to 69.
I think that's a good stretch goal.
Yeah.
If we don't, maybe Matt and I will just release a secret episode 69.
Yeah, that's the hentai, the ecchi episode.
Yeah, the ecchi episode. It was jumped from 52
it has to be 69.
52 to 69 after my untimely death.
Don't say that.
You never know. It'll be on the plane to AX actually. So we got a little bit past 52 to make it. Yeah. I blame society if my first ever flight ends in tragedy. But I'm sure.
Is that really your first flight?
I have never stepped foot inside of an airport.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had the opposite upbringing. I got in an airplane like every year, multiple times.
I got an airplane. Yeah, me too. We're lucky, I guess.
Yeah, I can't wait to never fly again after this.
Nah, you'll love it.
I'm gonna
be wanting to go to every
I guarantee I'll hate it.
Love it. I actually think he will not like it. I think most people who get in planes,
I hate flight. I actually hate it. So
yeah, I think most people who get in planes for the first time as adults like actually specifically dislike it.
Yeah, it was cool when I was a kid, but I just get like, it's whatever.
I don't know. Yeah. Depends.
We'll see.
We'll see. I just hope I don't have some annoying ass fucking kid in the plane. It's not like a long.
Oh yeah, I
don't think it'd be like a long flight or anything because it's it's in the U.S. from to the U.S. So it's not like I have to do anything special.
Correct. But no customs.
But yeah, having never flown before and having never done anything airport wise, I'll have to. I don't know. I'm sure there's YouTube tutorials on how to airport.
It's easy. There's signs, bro. You can follow signs. You can get to the gate.
Yeah, we'll see. But then biggest downside is I have to land in LAX or whatever. So that'll fucking suck cock.
Okay. Minor story time before you end the episode for 15 seconds. Me and Water Sinks. We tried to find one of our friends, Seabrins, in LAX because he flew with a different airline. So we were trying to find him to group up to get an Uber, and we spent literally like half an hour walking around LAX. Just like going from terminal to terminal, asking everybody where can we find the terminal where he landed, and LAX is just notoriously bad. So that's something you'll have to deal with.
The good news for you, Daniel, is we do have locals that like multiple locals who will be around, so that'll help.
Yeah, I will.
LAX is the nightmare. Man.
I'm going to force you all to baby me, and
yeah.
I've been, even though I could have definitely declined the offer if I didn't want to deal with this, but I don't know. I'm gonna study your all's flight times and try and land at the same time if I can.
Good idea. That's smart, actually.
Oh, I do not. I don't think I'm gonna step foot into LA and get mugged immediately because I don't have anyone with me. I don't know. It'll be an experience, one way or another. It'll be something.
I think it sounds like I'm probably going to get to LA like a full day before most of you guys do. So.
That's crazy.
I see.
I'm ditching it.
Gonna have to hit up Spaz or Raven to be like, hey, let me bum in your apartment for a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully I can get a flight that lands at the same time as at least someone else in our group, and so I can fucking and leech off them for protection. Ape together strong. Yeah, we can't get mugged if there's two of us, surely. But yeah, anyway, that's the end of the episode. I don't think anyone listen. Whenever I start the outro, I bet everyone dips. I wonder how many people are actually listening to the story time.
Dedicated ones.
If you're listening to this, you're a real one. I think we probably have one my main channel has randomly has 65-year-old plus viewers, and I don't know if that's just people lying about their age or if there's some really nice.
It's definitely someone who created account when they were 11 years old.
And someone's like a really, 1950. I like to think there's like a really nice like grandma or something that like watches my videos. Anyway, goodbye. We're done.